Welcome to the TOEFL Listening section. In this section, you will listen to an academic lecture and then answer questions about what you heard. You may take notes while you listen. You will have time to review your notes before answering the questions. Listen to part of a lecture in a university class. You will hear the lecture only once, so listen carefully. After the lecture, you will answer some questions about what you heard. Some questions ask about the main ideas and supporting details. Other questions ask you to make inferences or connections between ideas. Answer each question based on what is stated or implied in the lecture.
Good morning. Today we will examine market competition types with an emphasis on three canonical models. We will look in detail at monopoly, oligopoly, and perfect competition, and consider how each model explains pricing behavior, output, and welfare outcomes. Let us begin with perfect competition. In this model, there are many small firms selling a homogeneous product. Firms face a perfectly elastic demand at the market price, and therefore are price takers. Entry and exit are free, so in the long run, economic profits are zero. A textbook example of a market that approximates perfect competition is a basic agricultural commodity market, such as wheat. Individual wheat farmers cannot influence the market price. They respond to price signals by adjusting output, and the market clears where aggregate supply meets demand. Perfect competition is a useful benchmark because it yields allocative efficiency. Price equals marginal cost, which means resources are allocated where they yield the greatest benefit relative to cost. It also yields productive efficiency in the long run because firms produce at the minimum of average total cost. Now consider monopoly. A monopolist is the sole seller in a market with no close substitutes. A monopoly arises when there are high barriers to entry, which may be legal, technological, or due to control of a resource. Natural monopolies occur when one firm can supply the entire market at lower average cost because of large economies of scale. Common real-world examples include a local water distribution utility or a patented pharmaceutical product for a limited time. Regulators often intervene in natural monopoly settings to prevent excessive pricing. Policy tools include forcing marginal cost-based pricing or allowing average cost pricing so the firm covers its costs. A monopolist maximizes profit by producing where marginal revenue equals marginal cost, which leads to a higher price and lower quantity compared to perfect competition. That wedge between price and marginal cost creates market power and typically a deadweight loss relative to the competitive benchmark. Monopolies may also engage in price discrimination when they can segment markets and prevent arbitrage. Price discrimination can increase firm profits and in some cases reduce deadweight loss if it allows sales that would not otherwise occur. Next, we turn to oligopoly. An oligopoly has a small number of interdependent firms. Because each firm's decisions affect rivals, strategic behavior matters and game-theoretic concepts like Nash equilibrium become useful analytical tools. Oligopolistic industries include commercial airlines, automobile manufacturers, and historically the diamond trade under De Beers. At the international level, OPEC is another example where a few producers can influence world oil prices through coordinated actions. Oligopolies may compete on price, but often they avoid price wars by engaging in non-price competition. Advertising, product differentiation, and service enhancements are common. Firms may tacitly collude or explicitly form cartels to sustain higher prices, though explicit collusion is illegal in many jurisdictions. One of the stylized patterns in oligopoly is price rigidity. The kinked demand curve is a simple way to illustrate why firms may not match small price changes by rivals. More sophisticated models use repeated game logic to show how cooperation can be a stable outcome even without explicit agreements. To summarize, these three models sit on a spectrum of market power. Perfect competition has no market power. Monopoly has maximum market power, and oligopoly lies in between with strategic interaction among a few firms. Each model predicts different pricing, output, and welfare consequences, and therefore suggests different policy responses. When economists advise policymakers, they use these models to diagnose problems such as excessive market power, inadequate competition, or natural monopoly inefficiencies. Antitrust enforcement aims to preserve competition in oligopolistic markets, while regulation can be appropriate for natural monopolies. Understanding the distinguishing features of monopoly, oligopoly, and perfect competition helps you predict firm decisions and the likely effects on consumers and social welfare. That concludes the lecture, and I welcome your questions.
Listen again to part of the lecture, then answer the question.
A monopolist maximizes profit by producing where marginal revenue equals marginal cost, which leads to a higher price and lower quantity compared to perfect competition.
This concludes the listening section. For more TOEFL practice tests and study materials, visit Spinta.org.